Hello and welcome to Critical Idiots. In this episode, I'm the King of Staten Island. You could cut so much out of this and it'd still be... It'd be a much better film.
And I feel like Judd Apatow usually makes... Apatow. I don't want
I just
more.
love how many A's you put into Apatow.
I don't want more.
Apatow.
Apatow. I said Apatow.
The first one, he said Apatow,
Oh, yeah.
which kind of
No, I was
reminds me
thinking
of the Star Wars planet.
Judd. The Judster.
The Judge.
Judd Dredd.
What I do
Wait,
like...
so is it good? Apatow?
Apatow.
Apatow. What was that?
Apatow.
Udapow.
You saying Anabow.
Yeah, I think you were saying
Adapow.
Adapow. You were switching the T and the P's.
Yeah. Hey, I was going Apatow. Apatow.
Yeah.
You're very saying I'm adding an extra A's. I added the same amount of A's that they should be. Well, Judd Apatow, he's a big old silly bum. I don't remember what point.
He's a goose.
You can't focus on Scott anymore, honey. He's 24 years old, Marjorie. Let that f***ing bird fly, please.
Don't worry, Mom. I know your daughter got smart and went to college and abandoned us. But I'm still here. I'm gonna be here forever.
Yeah.
Pete Davidson is a 24-year-old freeloader living with his mum. His world is shaken up when she starts dating for the first time after 17 years. Alright, guys, what do we think of this movie?
I feel like this film is, I know, as I said, it's quite lengthy, but it's really easy to watch. You get along, I feel like you get along with a lot of the characters, even though they're all sort of at a bit of ends at times.
I felt personally attacked a lot of this film. I don't know what that says about me. From Pete Davidson's performance to a lot of the technical aspects of how it was shot, I thought was super tasteful.
The cinematography was really good.
Yeah.
Who was that?
Cinematographer was Robert.
You want to try that again?
Why, thank you for asking,
Robert Elswick was the cinematographer, and he did like There Will Be Blood, he did Boogie Nights, he did Nightcrawler. He's an Academy Award-winning Academy Award-winning cinematographer.
But cinematography, I didn't find anything memorable. Like, I know that he's a great cinematographer, but...
I think what it was...
Fine.
No, it serviced the film incredibly
Yeah.
well. And I think that's kind of your job as a cinematographer, to tell the story.
Yeah.
What it's trying to do is also match all the performances and it being really naturalistic. It's like very handheld. It's really intimate at times.
Intimate's a good word for it.
It's not trying to distract you.
It's a bit grounded.
It's very subtle when it does, you know. I can remember there was a couple moments where it breaks the 180 rule. And I was like, ooh. There's no establishing shots. Really in
Yeah,
this
I thought there
movie.
would have been at the start. Like, being called the King of Staten Island, I thought it would really show Staten Island.
Yeah.
I didn't get that
Exterior, throne.
Staten Island, this is my city. These are my people.
Let me show you around.
That would be great. I would prefer that.
Would take
And me, I am the king.
And then you get to me.
CJ.
This is my mom. She doesn't understand me.
Whatever, Mom.
Whatever. Yeah, that would be a great movie.
A lot of people have said that he works with a little bit smaller actors and tries to get them into a sort of a bigger A-list sort of fame thing.
Yeah.
With this, I don't feel that has happened. I don't think Pete Davidson is a B-list celebrity.
I think
I think he's pretty freaking popular right now because probably Ariana Grande.
there's other reasons why he's popular.
Well, SNL.
That's a huge one.
SNL, just a show that's been around for the last 70 years. It's
Fucking
on every
15-year-olds don't watch
people
SNL.
Yeah.
Ariana Grande would have, like, thrown him in the spotlight.
Yeah.
And
But that was a while ago.
In terms of Judd Apatow's archetype, though, of this kind of man-child, semi-autobiographical man-children, that's his kind of, like, that's his genre.
Yeah.
Which is
And Pete
probably
Davidson's perfect for that.
Yeah. And he tries to turn them into dramas as well.
Drama.
Rather than sort of straight comedy. Like the 40-Year-Old Virgin's a lot of people's favourite because it's a
I
comedy.
think that's maybe my favorite.
Yeah,
And then
same.
he tries to put more and more drama into the movies and then just become a bit like...
pros, I mean, everyone else except Pete Davidson did a great job.
What did you guys think of like Bill Burr and stuff?
I loved Bill Burr in this. I thought he was great, at least compared to my expectations.
Yeah, I mean, but I was just thinking of his, his yelling voice that he always does. And in this, he doesn't really do it, and he kind of actually is an actor. And it's like it's a very pleasant surprise for me.
I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
I think Bill Burr actually just does have rage issues. That's why they like use it. He said that it's like there's a joke. He's like, "Man, I hope my wife doesn't figure out what a nutcase she's married to." It was nice to see Marissa Tomei in something again.
Yeah.
She's still looking great. And Steve Buscemi was in it too. He's looking great.
And you know what was great to see?
And
He used to be a
good.
fireman. So,
yeah. And he was actually on Ground Zero at 9/11.
Oh, was he? I didn't know that.
He was.
Wow.
Yeah, he was tackling the flames, helping the people out.
He actually watched Pete Davidson's dad die.
I liked seeing Moises Arias. The
Oh,
kid
yeah.
from Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
Like,
He
I haven't
was-
seen him in a long time, so it's like, here he is.
The
Yeah,
little kid is he a shopper in Hannah?
No, I don't remember. I just remember him as a kid from Disney.
Yeah, he was.
And now he's like a stoner.
Yeah.
King of Staten Island. It
and
was
Who
shocking.
did he
still the exact same height.
He was just that kid that ran into the scenes.
He was the
He wasn't
short one.
part of the show.
It was the
just
short one, and everyone's like, don't.
No, in this
Is he the
movie.
one with all the shitty tattoos?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like Pete Davidson put all the
Yeah,
shitty tattoos.
yeah, he was the one that's like,
So-
I let him tattoo me.
Right.
Yeah, he's the short one.
I
And
don't know
everyone's
why
like,
I asked.
don't
know
joke
that
about.
show. I was like, which character?
Has anyone got Action Bronson as a pro?
Oh, shit.
Anyone bring him up?
thank
I feel like
you.
that's a pro.
He was great. Action Bronson was great in this film.
He's great in a lot of things that you don't typically suspect him to be in. Like, what's that movie that he did? He wasn't in He was there
Brody?
like 3
Come on,
seconds.
Brody.
Action Bronson?
3
That movie,
hours.
I don't even really know who Action Bronson is.
No,
Train to Yuma.
No, the 3-hour one up for an Oscar.
3:10 to Yuma.
Martin Scorsese film.
Tokyo.
Oh, The Irishman.
In
The
the,
Irishman,
Mood for
yes.
Love.
The
Was-
Irishman?
He was in The Irishman for like 10
He
seconds.
was
Really?
the
And he was-
Irishman.
He was the Irish man.
It's another Jude Law for you. Like,
He was in that for like 10 seconds and stole the show. And I think he did the exact same thing in this.
Yeah, he came in The Irishman. He was like, I need you to help me with something. He does the same thing in every film.
I feel like another good point I think about this film is it does a good job of balancing drama without getting too sappy with some what could be, it is, very sentimental at times, material, and also mixing it with comedy quite well, and without, getting a little bit too on the nose ever.
I would disagree with that.
I was expecting more comedy.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be more of a comedy with what I know from Judd Apatow.
Yeah. One of the flaws for me is I didn't think it was that funny, except
Yeah.
for like the fireman scenes got some laughs out of me,
Yeah.
and like some of the fight scenes were funny, and then the rest.
Yeah, I
was-
wouldn't say
Yeah.
watch this film for you'll kind of laugh from start to finish.
No.
It's
Yeah.
more drama than comedy as a dramedy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's
But-
a comedy at all.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, there's comedic elements, but overall it's still a drama.
I would say like it's lighthearted enough that I can understand calling it a
Yeah.
comedy.
It is a dark comedy if anything though, so
Yeah.
it does.
Yeah.
A light-hearted dark comedy.
I found it hard to take it too seriously as a drama, like because it was kind of like light. I was like, okay, it's kind of easy going to watch.
I think there's a point though because it's not trying to take itself too seriously.
Yeah,
and
that's what I
really do
mean.
think
I
that-
guess.
It's not like a portrait of a lady on fire starring Pete Davidson.
Yeah. I thought it was not going to be as good. I thought this film was going to be a little bit lazy. Not like Judd Apatow has given me a reason to believe that. But just that
Judd Apatow. But
Judd
You
Apatow.
added another like
Apatow.
3 A's in that last name.
That was great. Like, I had a
You
little
added
stroke.
like so many A's in that last name. You're like, how. Other like slight pros, it was pretty funny that every time Pete Davidson got into some kind of fight, he lost instantly.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
great. But I loved the character trait of like he
Yeah.
fucking didn't give up.
Yeah.
He was like, yeah, I'll
Go
fight
for it.
again.
And then like everyone was just whooping his ass.
And you kept thinking,
Yeah.
oh, so this is going to be the arc. So at first
Yeah.
he loses and loses, but then he'll win.
Yeah. No.
And he never does. Fucking Bill Burr beats his ass.
So the song I Get Knocked Down, but there's no up again.
Alright, should we get into some cons?
I found that scene where he comes. I understand that his mum was like day drunk and she had kicked him out already.
Yeah.
When he comes back home to his mum, And I think he's like, "Can I sleep here for one night or something?"
Yeah.
And like her mum and like her friend are like bullying him.
Yeah.
They're like
So
making
mean,
fun of him.
yeah.
And they trick him outside.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay, follow me, and then close the door.
Yeah,
I was
she's
like,
like-
I just put
yeah.
myself in his shoes, and I'd be like, if that was me, I'd be like, oh, fuck.
Like laughing in his face.
yeah, follow me.
She's a mean drunk, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Big con for me was the robbery.
Yeah.
That was so badly done.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, you're the lookout, and they like live at the pharmacy.
Yeah.
It's like, what is he meant to do? Like, the
Yeah.
inside, he literally
Yeah.
could not see anything that was going on.
But
Yeah.
to
They need
be,
him as a driver.
to be devil's advocate, maybe the scene's meant to be like they're all a bunch of idiots.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
It was a failed
Yeah.
plan from the start, and like
Yeah.
you know that Pete shouldn't become a part of this because
Yeah.
Scott shouldn't become a part of this because it's not gonna work. They don't know how their shit together.
What I didn't like about most of this movie is he does the bare minimum in everything he does. Actually, no, at the end, he does the bare minimum of being a functional member of society, and then he gets rewarded with praises like everywhere. Like, doesn't his mum let him back in or something? And
No.
oh, no, sorry.
He's starting.
But like
That's how the movie ends.
he gets
He
gets his girlfriend back.
Wow, Staten Island.
He just
because he starts staying at the fireman's, they sort of like he starts to come to terms with like his trauma with his dad, and like Steve Buscemi tells him stories and stuff, and he's like, okay, firemen can have children, I guess.
That was actually, I found that interesting. I found out that was actually a personal qualm for Pete Davidson. Was like,
Yeah.
that speech is almost like verbatim
Yeah.
kind of what he would say.
Yeah.
He'd be like, no, that's you're risking your life, and you have people that like, you're their entire world.
Yeah.
Why would you have kids? Like, that's
Yeah.
his point of view.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting they tried to like, I would actually want to know if at the end he's like acting out this scene where he comes to a new realization, but
Yeah.
then they cut and he's like, no, that's true though. I still,
Because they're just like, some people are just heroes, and it's like they deserve to have families as well.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
like they've got an impulse to help people.
What's everyone
It'd
with
be-
a family can't be
yeah.
a hero?
It'd
Yeah.
be interesting to see what his career does after this. If he
Yeah.
stopped about his dad dying.
I
Like,
disagree. I take you up on this. I think that's like, I don't think that's
That's not a staple of his career.
He literally is.
No,
everything
not
he
really.
everything he has ever done has had
Fingers
some
up.
involvement of, hey, my dad died.
no. He's been on SNL Weekly for years. It's not everything he does.
The rap album that he released does not have anything to do with.
He did it in the
9/11.
roast. He did it
But
in this
he's
movie.
not the one who was talking about that
He
stuff.
did.
Every-
He did in the roast.
He made a joke.
Yeah, exactly.
but
In the
only-
Rose, that's the one I'm thinking of.
And that's also only because everyone else was making jokes about his dad dying. So of course he's gonna make a joke about his dad dying. And like, and you know, this is an offensive comedy show. That's the golden nugget for making offensive comedy, is you talking about your dead dad.
And it's also a golden nugget to mine drama from. It's
Yeah.
like it's the crux of this whole movie is this relationship he has with his father figure that's not there.
Yeah.
And Bill Burr's relationship with him as like a stepfather, and it explores all that, which I really loved.
Okay.
No, I think that was definitely the highlight of the film for me. Was a lot of the stuff with the firemen, and you know, that whole sort of
Yeah.
him. You know, I guess what the film was about, him wanting to be an adult. And I also liked that there wasn't any, you know, too much of didn't bang you on the head with too much sentimonies, and I like that he doesn't change too much throughout the film. He just sort of grows up a little bit and does, and as you said, he does the bare minimum, but that's like,
Well,
Well,
that's
that's-
what I'm saying.
Praises
That's-
for it.
I don't think he's getting
He
praises
is.
for
He
it.
gets his girlfriend back. He moves to
That's not
New
getting
York City.
praises.
It's basically the world dropping everything in his lap because he's done the bare minimum.
No,
Don't
she's-
fight me on this.
His
It is
always
true.
wanted to be with him. Though.
Yeah, but once she
wrong.
realizes he's back, she would move on, wouldn't she?
No, because she cares about him for
No.
other reasons. They've been
Best
for
friends
so
since they were
long.
kids. She's in love with him.
Yeah, she loves him.
And then at the end, he's like, "What the am I doing?"
Well, in that case, he's been leading her into a sort of toxic sort
But he
of
hasn't been
relationship.
leading her. He's been telling her the whole
Yeah.
time,
The
"Stay away
opposite.
from me."
Well, she's still attached to him.
I
So,
know, but that's
Yeah.
not
so
his
he
fault.
should cut
And
it off
that's
then.
why at the end
If
he realizes he's so lucky that he has his like best friend who's in love with him and that she's beautiful, and then you know he wants to try it. He's like, I've been an
It
idiot.
doesn't mean it's gonna work
been
out.
in
No.
a relationship for so long anyway, and he's just like he's going with what he should be doing. He's waking up to himself and waking up to like, what the am I doing? I can't lose this. This is like one of the few good things in my life.
It's one of those, this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship type endings where it's insinuating it will go somewhere. But it's not it's going to show you all that. It's just at the end, it's like all these kind of notes of the future for him. And I also like, and this is more of a Judd Apatow thing, but I like it's a coming of age story for like your mid-20s.
Yeah.
He's 26.
It's not like
27 or something.
It's not like when it's a 16-year-old in a coming of age film and they're like, oh man, I realized I got my first kiss or something. Like, I don't give a fuck.
The movie ends and it's like, and I still have no idea who I am.
You gotta get your shit together. Time is passing by very quickly.
Why do you think I smoke weed all the time? So I can slow it down.
Alright, go ahead, Owen.
Yeah, you're right.
I'll give you a beat.
Give him a beat.
This is how I feel about that film.
Sorry, continue.
I was definitely intrigued by this film. I wouldn't say I love it in any degree or that it's the best of Judd Apatow's work, but I think it stands out in a bit of a more serious direction than he's ever gone before, at least from what I've seen. I haven't checked out his films in the last like 2 or 3 years, but I know I find it was well paced, as we said. I thought it could have been a lot shorter, but it was easy to sit down and watch and very digestible and not in a too bland a way, at least for me. I'd give this a solid 7.
You want to go for it?
Ja. Okay. I just started thinking that in my head and I almost cracked up.
Where's Joe when we need him?
Yeah, where's that? Where's Jar? I can see where you're coming from. I thought it was enjoyable enough while it was on. I wish I kind of had more empathy for him. Not that he needed to be a good person or anything. I don't really care about that in movies. But just there was never a bit where I was just like, oh, but I'm still kind of rooting for him in this sense. I was always like, dude, get over it. No, not get over it. Just like let your mum live. Like just I don't know.
Well, that's
like,
his.
or even if he can like live there and stuff, but it's just like if he's gonna like be like blocking her and things like that, I just was just like, man, just stop. Like, so he just annoyed me a lot throughout. But then when it got to like the fireman scenes and stuff like that, I was more into it, and I thought that the movie picked up a little bit. Overall, it was way too long, but it was all right. I'll give it a 6.
All right. Can we?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give this movie a 4. I mean, I don't particularly like much about it. I mean, it's a capable story. It's good cinematography, but otherwise, the character. I mean, Pete Davidson specifically. I do not care for him. I feel like he's done this sort of thing in many different scenarios.
You can't keep getting away with it! He can't keep getting away with it!
Be it stand-up comedy or roasts, or I'm not sure about SNL, I didn't pay attention, but overall I feel like he's done the same thing over and over again, and it's just like, dude, shut the up. And so yeah, 4.
Wait, you were 7?
Yeah.
6.
And you were 4.
You're gonna give it a 5.
Swap places?
I'm not giving it a 3.
I give this... You're giving it a 3. I gave this movie a 5.
Oh, like I was saying, what are you giving it? Oh, okay.
That was my review. You can final thoughts. No, I give it a 5. I feel like a bit of the issue for me was going into it expecting more of a comedy with Judd Apatow's like films that I've been introduced to before. But I didn't see anything particularly wrong with the characters. I enjoyed the story, but I felt like maybe someone else could have played the role better. And I know it's autobiographical, but I didn't even know that. I didn't know that it was related to his life. I haven't had any other influences from Pete Davidson. But I enjoyed the film. I just don't think I would recommend or watch it again, personally.
I'm going to give this film a 6. I think What?
3.
Did you say you're right? Did you even say your rating?
Yeah, he gave it a 5.
5. I had swapped places.
That was his whole thing.
But that's what I mean.
wasn't my rating.
I feel like I didn't hear you sit down and say 5.
That's the first thing you said.
5.
Let's get back into it, shall we?
Yeah.
3.
For me, Judd Apatow's latest film is probably one of his best, in my opinion. I thought it was kind of acutely relatable and surprisingly intimate and grounded. And I thought totally worked as a kind of late stage coming of age film. I'm gonna give it a 6.
I think
Yeah,
it's one
this
of the
is
best
best
of his
film.
work. I think he's in the business a
But
lot.
he's not a great filmmaker, so
Yeah, but I would say
better than
Pineapple
Trainwreck.
Express
Yeah.
definitely like a 7 or an 8.
He didn't direct that.
Sorry,
though.
yeah.
There's a lot of movies he
produced
produced.
that.
Yeah.
it's
Oh.
He didn't direct
in
that
my
many. It's
in
only
my
like,
grading
like
scale.
10 to 15.
I
movies.
originally-
It's super bad,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
In my grading,
No, he didn't. He
Just
produced it.
produced
He didn't
You're
direct it.
fucking kidding me.
Yeah, he didn't.
in my
Did
He didn't
40-Year-Old
direct it.
Virgin and
Superbad.
Knocked Up.
He
and
did
then
not
a bunch
direct
of, like,
Superbad.
semi-serious
He
ones.
produced
my
And
grading
Trainwreck.
scale is 6 is good and 7's really good, and this film was rewatchable and I enjoyed it. It wasn't really good. It was good.
Dude, I wanted to give this film a 6, but I was like, man, that bit.
That scene where he steps on the mine. How good was that?
That's very. I just want to say you can edit this in somewhere else, but yeah, I'm very surprised. I was not aware that Judd Apatow did not direct Superbad or Pineapple
Mr.
Express.
Apatow.
My complete perspective of this man has warped.
Please tell me that lowers the rating count.
It doesn't lower my rating.
You're my friend. Apatow.
No,
It lowers my rating of Judd Apatow.
This doesn't lower my rating of Judd Apatow, but I was not aware that.
Oh no, Owen, you're a little bit in this one.
I was not familiar that there was so many films that I thought I loved by him that he only produced. This might be my favorite film by him then.
Yeah.
This might be, I think, his best. I Freaks and
That's
Geeks.
what I was telling you before.
That's what I've been saying!
This whole time.
That's right.
Oh yeah, Freaks and Geeks counts. I would definitely give it to that.
Yeah, I
Doesn't-
wish...
Not as one of his films.
Whoa. He directed
no,
Freaks
he
and
did
Geeks.
a
Him
lot
and
of
Paul
writing.
Feig.
Oh, okay.
were,
showrunner.
the
Okay.
runners, yeah.
Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that jazz. So, take care.
Goodbye!
And no, we're not doing a freeze frame.
You gotta put it in now.
You gotta like
You gotta be a
face
part
it.
of it.
Dude, your head's. I know you got a big head. What can I say? Your ego needs to come down several levels.